our top story. Days after devastating earthquakes left Turkey in shambles, the clamour against the president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, and his government seems to be rising. Even as rescue operations continue in freezing temperatures, the victims claim enough is simply not being done by the government. While rescue workers are toiling day and night to clear the debris of the collapsed buildings, the survivors have been left scrambling for food and shelter. In some cases, the calls for help have gone silent under the debris.
There isn't any working order. There is work but no order. There is no order regarding the shelters either. I have to go and stay in a remote part of Adiyaman.
We as civilians support these people. But I'm not a crane. I cannot lift these concrete blocks. I'm a mother. My heart can only bear so much pain. But no one is listening. Where is the army? Where is the state? Where is unity? Where is the solidarity?
The lack of assistance is not restricted to just one part of the quake-hit nation. Residents in the southern Turkey town of Ankara too are anguished. The extended hours of wait are making chances of finding survivors more and more bleak.
There is no professional team. There is no team to remove the bodies or the survivors who are still under the rubble. The building you see here is lying on its side, and we have cleaned almost the entire entrance with our own hands. And now, even though it is the fourth day, no one has come. No authority has come. Those who are here stopped the volunteers. They said that the building is dangerous and should not be entered. And now, we are just waiting.
Turkish President Erdogan on Wednesday conceded that there were shortcomings in the country's response to the devastating disaster after criticism of his government by opposition leaders as well as citizens. The death toll after Monday's 7.8 magnitude earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria has now touched 20,000, even as rescuers race to save countless people still trapped under the rubble. The efforts have now passed the 72-hour mark. That disaster experts consider to be the most likely period to save lives. For more on this story, we're now joined by Yusuf Erim, who is the editor-at-large of TRT World. Thanks very much for speaking to us, Mr. Erim. Could you please tell us what the current situation is like on the ground? As we said, the death toll in the two countries has nearly touched 20,000, and the 72-hour period, which is meant to be extremely crucial, is now over. Rescuers, of course, continue to race against time.
Well, today was, at least regarding rescues, it was a very productive day. We saw many rescues, not just from the Turkish Natural Disaster Rescue Team, but also many international rescue teams as well. And today the effort was much more organized. Now, we have to remember when this series of earthquakes, I shouldn't even call it an earthquake, a series of earthquakes, most namely two with a 7.8 and 7.7 magnitude hit, it hit such a wide area, and it took a while for damage assessment. And since it was so unprecedented, the death, the destruction, and such a wide-ranging geography, the response took a little while. The roads were snowed in, logistics was hard, certain areas were cut off basically, airports completely shut down, roadways destroyed. So were there shortcomings? Yes, there were. The Turkish president even understood that and self-criticized himself for the shortcomings. But we saw a much more organized effort today. A lot of lives saved. The Israeli team the Greek team, the Hungarian team, the Indian team saving lives also. Very, very productive work by the international community on the ground. And I must say that more shelter now being provided. The Turkish president has freed up 100 billion Turkish lira fund to be for immediate assistance, and also has pledged to rebuild all the houses of all the earthquake victims that have lost their homes.
Right. Now, Mr. Erim, it's certainly good to hear you say that today was a productive day, which certainly means that a significant number of lives have been saved. But as you pointed out there is considerable anger amongst the victims and their families. The president has admitted, yes, there were shortcomings. Initially, the response might have been a bit slow. Looking at the current situation, we know that there has been a massive deployment by the Turkish government and there is global aid pouring in. Despite that, it continues to be a humongous challenge. Can you tell us what are some of the biggest challenges that rescuers are facing at the moment?
Well, first of all, there's still aftershocks. So it's very dangerous to go into these buildings and rescue people. Just yesterday in northern Syria, 3 members of the Qatari Red Cross died while they were entering a building trying to save people. So that just goes to show how dangerous it is. An unskilled, untrained person, a volunteer, can't just show up and enter a building, because it could just create a scenario where that person himself needs to be saved. So this is very important to understand. One of the biggest challenges also was creating a logistics supply chain, because such a wide area, this wasn't just a search and rescue mission. This required the creation of probably one of the biggest mobilizations and logistics supply chains created. This was almost like an expeditionary military operation almost. That's how you needed a logistics supply chain to be able to bring supplies to the front lines of this disaster. And this took time to understand first. Victims were shocked. The Turkish public watching it on their TVs on the morning of February 6th were shocked. And you know what? The Turkish government was shocked too. It took a while for them to digest how big this was and how to handle this, because they've dealt with earthquakes before, but nothing this big, nothing this massive, and nothing this wide scale from one end to the other end. Hundreds of kilometers of destruction, a place the size of Bulgaria.
Right there, I think it's taken everyone, the entire world, time to process the enormity of this tragedy. We were saying for the longest time that this is the worst earthquake in the region in years or decades, but now clearly we can say that this is really the worst earthquake that the world has seen in recent years. Our thoughts and prayers continue to be with the people of Turkey and Syria. On that note, Yusuf Erim, thank you very much for sharing all those details with us.
Thank you for having me. I wanted to thank the people of India for their support as well. And thank you for their support. It's very appreciated in Turkey. I want everyone to know that.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to us, and we appreciate the fact that you made time to talk to us and update us on a very important story at a very difficult time. Thank you, Mr. Erim.